Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, depending upon where you're joining us from, to our class, our discussion this afternoon on living gratefully in a time of crisis. No need to tell you about the anxiety, the time of confusion and doubt that we live in. And perhaps one of the most difficult things to contend with is we don't know when it's going to end. I had one of my younger students in class that I was teaching, as I teach daily, and he asked me, how long is this going to continue? How long are we going to continue to endure this these online classes and sequestering? Just one moment. One thing that we can one thing that we can do. How long is all of this going to be going on? So I told him, I said, listen carefully to my answer. I said, nobody knows. So I asked him, I said, do you understand what I told you? So who are you going to ask about when is all of this, how long is all of this going to be going on? How long do we have to endure all of this? Who are you going to ask? After I had made it very clear that nobody knows, he said, I'm going to ask the principal. Well, that's how it goes, right? We just try to knock it up. There's got to be somebody who knows the answer to all of this. And of course, God knows the answer to all of this. However, he's not telling us. He's not telling us when it's going to end. So we're all interesting. It's quite amazing. And in a certain sense, it's quite awesome that it's quite awesome that we're all in this together. The whole world, all of the Jewish people, all of humankind, we're all here together. And to address some of our questions here, to address how to approach life, I'm going to share with you this picture. Here's a beautiful piece of art done by my wife. And this is going to be the key to helping us understand life and how to contend with all of the uncertainty and the anxiety and everything else. This right here, the answer is right here. Can you find it? So I'd like you to tell me, we'll push this in closely, what is this a picture of? What do you think? It's obviously more pop art. It's not a piece of realism, but what do you think this piece of art reflects? What do you think it's expressing? Do you have any idea? Do you know what it is? Not easy to tell, and here's the good thing to know is that there is no wrong answer. So you don't have to worry, but if you want to go ahead and tell me in the comments, we're going to come back to this in a moment. Tell me in the comments what you think this piece of art. What do you think it is? What do you think it's expressing? I'd like to see your answers. Chaos. I guess it's a Rorschach test. That's what we're all seeing today. Rows of trees. Very nice, Patricia. We'll wait for a few more answers here of what this beautiful piece of art, my wife's beautiful piece of art, may actually be. And in discovering the answer to what this piece of art is, we will have an approach to dealing with crisis with an attitude of gratitude. How do we live gratefully? Trees by water. So now for the reveal. My wife went to the hardware store and she saw the sample papers where where people were using the spray paint, the spray cans, and they were spraying to see how the color would come out, how it would layer, how thick it would be, and the color, of course, right? So they had all of these colors on top of colors on top of colors. Now, when my wife, most people looking at that would see a big glob of paint, chaos and disorder, as one of the participants here said. She saw chaos here. That would actually be a pretty apt description. So there was no order to it. There was no design. There was no intentionality to it. It was purely people testing spray paint on a piece of paper. When my wife saw it, she saw a potential there. And what she did something quite amazing. She put a frame around it. I'm sure you're familiar with the terminology, especially if you're on a JLI channel, of reframing. This is what she did. She took chaos, she took disorder, she took randomness, she took something that had no specificity, no intention whatsoever, and she put a frame around it. And when you put the frame around it, all of a sudden you see that there's something beautiful here. There's something beautiful to behold. There's something that actually gives us pleasure, something we could use our imaginations to imagine what it is. Maybe it's, what do we have here? Trees by the water, crushing winds, some of the other ideas that were brought up here, right? So when we reframe something, we take something that looks disorderly, it looks like there's no purpose to it, it looks like there's no end to it. All of these feelings, all of these emotions bring us to, hi Pesha, bring us to a feeling of nihilism, really a feeling of emptiness inside of us, but we can reframe it. We can simply take what appears to be random and put a frame around it, and all of a sudden we have a beautiful piece of art. In our own life, of course, this takes effort, this takes work, and it's especially significant today when there is so much negative news coming at us for obvious reasons, because there is a lot of very scary news, people who are ill, people who are suffering, people who are dying. That's not even to mention the economy, right? So these are uncertain times, difficult times, trying times, but nevertheless, we can reframe that. We can take our own time, and even as we're receiving all of this negative information, we join a JLI class, and it is so important, especially now, to give ourselves positive framing. We have to frame things in a positive way, in a way where we can have hope and realize that there's a light, not only at the end of the tunnel, but there's a light in my life right here, right now. So this is very crucial. This is very crucial to spend time learning and thinking and meditating upon our blessings. And so this topic of having gratitude in the time of crisis is crucial for our sanity. So gratitude, everybody loves talking about gratitude, but to actually live with gratitude, this takes time, this takes effort. And I'd like to do with you just another exercise here. To have gratitude, of course, means to appreciate what someone or something or has done for us, or what God has done for us in the greatest way. What our parents, our siblings, our spouse, our co-workers, whomever, to appreciate, and the word appreciate really means to see the underlying value of what they have given into our life. Now, the truth is that many people feel underappreciated. Many people feel that they're not appreciated enough. This is an a common feeling, right? So anybody who feels that they're adequately appreciated out there, go ahead and raise your hand if you feel that you're adequately appreciated. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I feel that I'm adequately appreciated. I'll be honest. So I'm not going to put my hand up, but I'm just showing. Go ahead and put your hands up. I can't see you, but that's all right. You can see you. So most people don't feel adequately appreciated. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer an experiment. I would like to offer you either the red pill or the blue pill. Okay? On your screen it might look green. That's okay. So if you take the red pill, automatically everyone is going to appreciate you. They're going to see what you are really offering to the world, offering to the workplace, offering to the family, offering to the cosmos. You take the red pill, it's a magic pill. All of a sudden, everybody is going to say, wow, you are great, you are awesome. And they're going to really see and understand on the deepest and most profound level everything that you've done and put forth. That's the red pill. Now, here we have the blue pill. If you take the blue pill, what's going to happen? You're going to start appreciating others. You're all of a sudden going to look at your spouse in a whole new light. Instead of complaining that they didn't bring you your favorite towel, or that they didn't use the right words in expressing their love, or all of the different craziness that people get caught up in, or that they didn't do this, that, or the other thing, right? If you take the blue pill, all of a sudden you're going to appreciate your spouse in the most profound way. You're going to understand what a gift. You're going to appreciate your parents, whether you are fortunate to still have them with you, or if they have already passed on. You're going to all of a sudden gain a whole new appreciation of your parents, of your coworkers, of your teachers, of your loved ones, of those around you, right? The blue pill, right? So what would you rather? Would you rather be appreciated, or would you rather appreciate others? Okay? Now, when I do this in a public setting, people might feel they have to take the high road, but go ahead, right? We all want to be appreciated, right? Most people want to be appreciated more, okay? But what would we rather? And no, you can't take half of this and half of that. Now you've got to take one pill or the other. Which one are you going to take? Are you going to take and nobody's watching now, so are you going to take they're kosher to Pesach, by the way. I do have to add that. It's Passover, so they're kosher for Passover. So you can take either one. There's no questions of the kashrut. So which one would you take? The one that's going to all of a sudden make everybody appreciate you? I'm finally adequately appreciated in the world. This is phenomenal. Or would you rather take the one that's going to that's going to bring you to appreciate others? Now, the blue pill will make you happier, Pesha says. Are you sure about that? Yeah, absolutely. This is very true, right? So being appreciated is very nice, it's very lovely, and you're going to feel very good for, I think, a short amount of time, for a day, a week, maybe a month. But eventually, it's going to become old hat. And here's the problem. You have not changed. You have not become a better person. It's just people are now seeing you in a different light. Everybody else is becoming a better person. Whereas, with the blue pill, yes, you now become a better person. You now see the goodness that everybody has brought into your life. You are no longer bound by resentment, by limitations, of really immaturity, of thinking, oh, somebody else has something that I don't have. All of these things that hold us back and really give us a terrible feeling and put us into an emotional state, a negative emotional state. The blue pill will lift you right out. If you could have ample gratitude for that which is in your life, you would all of a sudden be lifted up to a much higher level, to a level beyond which you could imagine. You'd be living a life of gratitude. No more resentment, no more anger, no more frustration, no more anxiety. Putting this in a Jewish light, this is all, of course, in a Jewish light, but particularly, our ultimate gratitude is understanding the presence of God in our life, who is bringing this about and giving us life at every single moment. Every day, every hour, every minute, and literally every moment, God's light is coming into our life to give us life. And if we can have gratitude for that and realize that this moment is God's gift, then the only question now becomes, what am I going to do with this gift? It shifts our whole life. It reframes our whole life. No longer is there a random spray of spray paint on a paper. Now we have a beautiful picture here. We have reframed it. When we can see our life in the light of gratitude, that removes unhappiness. And realizing that God is giving us this gift, well, then the question of what's going to happen, as my younger student had asked, how long is this going to go on? Right? This is a very valid issue. This is a very valid problem. Our sages tell us that there's no greater joy than when doubt is removed, right? When we're not sure about something. You go to somebody, you ask them, are you going to do the business deal or not? And the person tells you, no. No is a fine answer, and now you can move on. But if the fellow says, maybe, let me think about it, well, now you're in an in-between state. You don't know. You're in a state of doubt. And that doubt is wearing on our emotional state. And so today, of course, we have this great doubt. What's going to happen? How is this all going to unfold? Health-wise, economics-wise, what's going to be tomorrow? What's going to be next month? What's going to be next year? However, when we use another frame, let's use the divine frame to put around our life and around our moment, and to realize that God himself is bringing this about at this very moment. And I appreciate God for giving me life and giving me the ability to appreciate. This is the greatest gift of all. Then no longer do we need to have that worry. No longer do we need to have that anxiety. This is the work of reframing. It takes effort, right? We do it once, it works a little bit. We do it twice, we get a little bit more. We go into the inner workings of Hasidic philosophy that help us understand what this is about. We develop a mindset and a worldview that really allows us to reframe so that we're no longer living in a state of worry. We're living in a state of gratitude. I'm going to share with you a Hasidic concept. Many of you may be aware of it. It's called Hashgacha Pratit, which oftentimes is translated as divine providence. But the Lubavitcher Rebbe actually edited that translation, and he said that it's actually not divine providence, because divine providence has a connotation of this general picture for the cosmos, divine providence, but rather divine personal providence. Hashgacha pratit. Pratit means that it's personal to our very life. And here's a teaching from the Rabbi. Comes from Hayom Yom. I think it's the 27th day of Cheshvan. And this is from Hayom Yom. The Rabbi says like this: all movements of all the various creatures of the universe are directed by providence. This providence, or this divine plan, is really the life force that brings everything about. Which means that the vitality that we're receiving receives not just that we exist, what we are, but where we are, when we are, and what we are meant to accomplish this very moment. The plan and the purpose is built in to the power, the energy of this moment. That's divine personal providence. And even more, the Rebbe continues. The particular movement of any creature is in general terms related to the grand design of the creation of the universe. There are no accidents. This is not a mess up, although we look and we see, and to the extent that we can prevent these kinds of things from happening, of course, we are obligated to do so. That is a Torah obligation. When we get into our car, we are obligated to put on our seatbelt. Why? Why not just say divine providence? Because God says that we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our health to the best of our ability. But when something has already happened that is beyond our control, then we need to understand that what is happening is specific, personal, divine providence. This is part of the whole plan of creation. And the Rebbe continues. The sum total, I'm not sure, Michael, you're asking how is that spelled, in the Hebrew or the English? Please specify, we'll get the spelling for you. Maybe Shlomo Yaffe, maybe you could answer if you have Michael Neal's information there. The sum total, the Rebbe continues, of all individual acts brings to completion God's grand design in the mystery of all creation. Ponder this. If the swaying of a blade of grass is brought about by divine providence, then how much more so when we're talking about what occurs with a human being that is the prime creation of the universe, that this is with divine personal providence, and it is part of the divine plan for all of existence. So what is happening to us now is not a detour, it is not a distraction. It's part of the plan. And there's something very powerful that happens when we reframe in such a way. When we reframe in such a way, something powerful happens. And that is that we are no longer victims. And connected to the festival of Passover that we are now celebrating, freedom. What is freedom, right? Everyone likes to, we talk about freedom, we celebrate freedom, and there's a very crucial element of freedom. And that is that freedom does not mean to have more time and more money. If we are being limited by our circumstances, and if we are defining our freedom on our circumstances, then we are not free. When we understand this idea of divine personal providence and we internalize it, and that becomes our reality, our circumstances are no longer defining who we are. They are no longer defining our freedom. Now we are truly free. How we react to our circumstances, how we respond, therein lies our growth. That is where we can actually have a moment of consciousness to realize that this is God's plan, and I will deal with it. And what's going to be tomorrow is God's plan, and what's going to be the day after that is God's plan. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't have our own plan, that we shouldn't prepare, that we shouldn't figure out our own life. We're obligated to. You must. You have to. But in tandem, we accept divine personal providence. And so we no longer worry. We no longer think, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is God's plan. The only question is, how can I deal with what I have right now, right here, right now? I was tell you a miracle story. Once I went to the airport to catch a flight, and I was early. That was the miracle. I arrived early. It doesn't usually happen. So no more miracles in this story, but you may want to listen to the rest. So I saw a convivial-looking fellow standing at a water station. I walked over to him and I said, "So, how you doing?" So his response took me by surprise and really changed my life. His response was, "Never better." Never better. No, I probably have heard that before, but maybe I wasn't in the frame of mind to really absorb it and to really understand it. But never better. That's got to be our truth. How are you doing? Never better. Baruch Hashem. Thank God, never better. There's, for one reason, there is no other moment. There is no other time. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. So if now is not better than any other time, there is no other time. So never better. This moment right here is God's gift to us. It is the unfolding of the divine personal providence that we can make a reality in our life through becoming aware of it. And the anxiety melts away. The frustration melts away. The anger melts away. We've reframed it. We have developed the divine providence frame around the seeming randomness of the world, and we have created an object of beauty. We have created an object of transformation. This is our opportunity. This is our greatest opportunity. Let's see. There was a question up here. Michael, English transliteration. Of Hashgacha Pratit. Okay, that would be A-H-A. I don't have my keyboard here, so I'm just going to tell you out loud. It's H-A-S-H-G-A-C-H-A. That's the first word. Pratis. P-R-A-T-I-S. Hashgacha Pratis. So, again, the second word, P-R-A-T-I-S. Hashgacha Pratis. Or Hashgacha Pratit. You'll find it probably easier on the internet with Hashgacha Pratit. So right now, when we are in the midst of all of this craziness, we also have an awesome opportunity. So what I'd like you to do now, we'll have another exercise here. What I'd like you to do, there's a 45-second lag, and this is now going to be a participatory activity. I would like you, we're going to take 2 minutes, and for 2 minutes, I'd like you to come up with 20 things that you are grateful for right now. Not things that you used to have, not things that you're going to have, but things, what you have right here, right now. 20 things. It can be the holiday, it can be the food, it can be the people, it can be, you could go into any specificity or any generality. 20 things starting now. Let's go ahead and type them. I'd like to see. Don't worry about being mundane. The things that we're grateful for that are the most mundane are sometimes the most uplifting when we realize, oh, look at that, I've got a towel. A nice dry towel to dry my hands on. This is phenomenal. So let's take 2 minutes. Go ahead and type out those items, 20 items of gratitude in 2 minutes. I should be timing it over here. I might be a little bit off. We'll try. Okay. So let's give everybody another minute and a half. Got about another 30 seconds, and I think there's also a 45-second lag on Facebook. But I'd like to give everybody an opportunity. Go ahead, and if you can't come up with 20, you can, really, depending if you're typing on a keyboard or on your phone. You can come up with it. Just 2 minutes, 20 items, 10 items a minute. Okay, so as they start coming up, we'll be commenting on them. But there are so many things to be grateful for. It's the confusion and the concealment and the uncertainty that makes it difficult. And I'd like to share something with you, and that is that the truth of the matter is that, all right, wouldn't it be great if God could have just made his plan revealed so that we could see, when we look at it, we could actually see the divine plan, we could see godliness in the world, that we could see holiness, we could see our own soul, we could see the soul in others, and we wouldn't even have to work on it. We could just see the goodness, and we'd be automatically grateful for it. I mean, why does it have to take such effort? Why is it that the goodness is concealed and it takes effort from us to reveal it? And I'll share the answers after we get some of the postings here. Hopefully some of the postings will be showing. Ah, beautiful. I see I was on. Beautiful. Huh. Beautiful. Thank you, Gabby. Ah, yes. To fill up your lungs with air, that is that's a big one now, right? We never really adequately appreciate air and really have gratitude for air. Now with the coronavirus, realizing we can take a deep breath in. This is Hashem's gift to us. It's not random. It doesn't just so happen to be. It is specifically. It is pratit. It is personal providence that we can take in this this breath. Thank you, Gabby. Tamar. More time with family. Nice. Passover. All of life. Yeah, Lucy, you want to specify. Let's bring in some more specifics. All of life that's great. That's in the general. Now let's break it down to some of the small things. Nobody said, how about fried potatoes at Passover? That's one of the few things us Lubavitchers eat, right? Fried potatoes. Matzah. Matzah is delicious. I'm grateful that I have a taste for matzah, that I actually enjoy it. There are a lot of people who don't enjoy it and they still have to eat it. So I'm grateful that I enjoy matzah. So many things, so many blessings. Did anybody mention here the internet? The fact that we're able to communicate with thousands of people around the world. This is an amazing gift. So I'd like to go back to the question that I just asked, and then we'll read some more of these things that people are grateful for. So the world is created specifically in a way that the gift, the light of God, God's power, God's goodness, and the goodness of people around us for that matter, is concealed to a large degree. Because our purpose as the Jewish people is to reveal that which is concealed. So what's better than a world where all of the goodness is revealed? What's better than that is a world where the goodness is concealed, and only through our work can we reveal it. So the fact that it's a process, the fact that it's a struggle, and the fact that we don't see it initially and we have to work on ourselves to find it, that is also a gift. That is the most phenomenal gift, because through finding it, it becomes ours. We discover the divine light in the world. We discover the divine light in ourselves. And so when we start to feel down, that's the default condition with which God made the world, right? And made the human being. Psychological terms, they call it the negativity bias. That's the default, but we have the ability to rise above that. And when we rise above that, we are covering the godliness that is latent within. And that is our work. And when you do the work to discover, it becomes yours. It becomes the most phenomenal thing that you could possibly imagine, right? That it's through your work that you can find the goodness. That's the greatest gift. If it was revealed to us, we would not have a true appreciation for it. If it was revealed to us, we would not have ownership. We only have ownership through our effort, through our work to find the godliness in the world, to find the godliness in this very situation, to find the divine personal providence right here, right now. When we do that work, it's ours, right? Otherwise, right, you could talk about exercise. You could watch somebody exercising for hours. It's not going to do anything for you. You have to do the work. As they say, no pain, no gain. I had a friend who used to say, no pain, right? But we all know that's not going to transform us. That's not going to change us one iota. We have to do the work. And the fact that we have to do the work, that is the gift. That we have to overcome our negativity bias, that we have to overcome how it seems in the first place, to reframe it, to create the divine providence reframe. And through that work, we have ownership over that which we find, because we have discovered it. When you discover something, it becomes yours. Discovery is to discover. So it's concealed specifically for this purpose. If you want to learn more about this, you can go to KabbalahKeys.com. That's KabbalahKeys.com. And I've got a book on this subject that's going to be coming out soon, God willing. So thank you all for joining. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to share, I'm going to read some of the gratitude notes here. If we could see God's plan, I think it would probably encompass some of the things we mentioned above. Baruch Hashem, from Sandra. Baruch Hashem, I have family, a roof, nice bed, clean sheets to sleep on, hand sanitizer, yay, right? Gratitude for hand sanitizer, food, health, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Sorry if I'm not getting to everybody's posts here. It's a little bit hard on the screen to get to everything, but Lucy, beautiful. So this is, you're very welcome. My pleasure to share a little bit of Torah, a little bit of perspective. It helps me as well when I get to share with you the reframing. It helps me to reframe as well and to live my life on that level. So I thank you all for joining and thank you for participating. Everybody should remain healthy and happy. It is so important during this time to really increase our joy and increase our happiness, because it's so easy to fall the other way. We really have to get up, exercise, move around, and be happy. It's the festival of Passover. You could drink a little bit of wine, have a little bit of matzah, and be happy and joyous in God's gift of this moment. Thank you all for joining.